So today we're going to be changing over the timing belt on a 1.6 litre 1998 Toyota Corolla 4AFE engine model. First attempt, so let's try and see if we can make this work. So first things first, what I've done is I've removed the windscreen washer fluid. That essentially kind of sits just like that. This thing over here kind of clips onto that screw there, and then you just bolt it over there, so if it's lined up. So you just remove that one bolt, kind of slide it off, and then you lift it out of the hole over there. And that's that. Obviously you're going to disconnect an electrical cable. So just that one over there, you just kind of press down and you pull. And this thing over here kind of just connects over there. So you should pull that off and keep this end safe. And then just go ahead and let the water drain out and put it to the side. Second thing I did was lifted the car up, so I got a jack stand over there, and I've taken the wheel off over here. So once we take the wheel off, we're gonna have to take the engine cowling off. So that's just this bit over here. The way you take it off, couple of bolts. So you got one over there, you got one, there you go, that's another one, and then got a few up the front over here. So normally you got one there maybe. You guys connected to the front fender, and got another one there, and this whole thing is just one piece of plastic, so it comes off pretty easy. Okay, now that I've got the cowling off, so that's the cowling over there, and you've got five bolts that you have to keep, 10 mil in size. Should probably replace those. Yeah, so that's that. Kind of put it to the side and keep it safe for now. Is we want to loosen up the alternate tensioner bolt, so that we can take this belt off over here. So first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna loosen this bolt over here. That's a 14 mil, and sometimes you need a breaker bar for that because they can be quite difficult to open. So once that's loosened, and what you want is you want a little bit of a gap there. You can always loosen it a bit more if you like. So the next thing is you want to loosen two bolts over here. First bolt is that one over there, and that's adjusting the tensioner. And then the second one is, it's quite hard to see, it's this over here. And they're both 12 mil bolts, so that one and that one over there, both 12 mil, and then we got 14 mil up here on this one. So once that one's loosened, and then you loosen this one and you pull that one out down there, this alternator can actually move around like that, and then you just kind of push it forward and the belt comes off. Now that we have the alternator belt off over here, we're going to go ahead and take the power steering belt off too. So that's the power steering reservoir over here, and that's the belt over there. So first things first, you want to loosen this tension bolt over here, and I'm pretty sure it's a 14 mil. So there's two that you have to loosen. This is the first one, 14 mil. Loosen that, and then you come under here. This bolt over here is also 14 mil, and you want to loosen that. And now that it's loosened, you can actually come up here, and you can move the whole assembly across, and that relieves the belt from the tension, so you can go ahead and so you get that top bolt loosened over there, and it pretty much gives you the play. So I loosened it way too much and it gave me like 1.5 inches of play. Then what you want to do is you want to just loosen this over here, and it will come sliding right down, and you can take the belt off. Choose to keep this on the mount. You're probably gonna have to take it off, so let's go ahead and actually take it off. There we go. Put it back on. Now the belt should come right off. No issues there. We can do the same thing. We can inspect it. So all these belts are quite old. This one's actually not too bad. The next thing we do is, well, you'd want to remove this cable that normally runs in here. It's got a cover. It's got 2 bolts, one there, one there. I believe it's 10mm. You just remove those 2 and you lift that cover up, and it exposes the cabling underneath from the alternator. I removed the alternator, as you can see, but to actually remove the plugs, which I found a little bit difficult, you got one plug that, pretty sure that's an oil sensor over here. And you just, essentially what you do is you just press down over there and then you pull and it comes out pretty easily. Okay, so it's just the one side. And the same thing goes for the other one. Don't try and press anywhere but the one side over here, and it comes out very easily, and that's connected down here to the, I believe that's the AC compressor, or at least the bracket is connected to it. And you just get that out of your way. Then the next step now is to remove the spark plug leads over here. So we'll just twist a little bit. This should pop up. There you go. It gets a bit hard. Just remove that cable over here. Just make sure the plug's in there. It's looking pretty good. Alright, you just kind of get that out of the way. Just make sure that for this one over here, you got different lengths. So it goes 1, 2, 3, and 4. That last one over there. Just get those out of the way. Cool. Now the next thing I'm gonna do, we'll get rid of these. So move that over there. Just give that a bit of a wiggle. Comes straight off. This is gonna be the same deal. And we'll just give that a bit of a pry as well. There you go. And it should come straight off. There we are. Okay, so you got these 2 off. Now the next thing is we're gonna undo these 1, 2, 3, 4. To pry the head off, because I've already removed it, it's going to be quite easy for me. I could probably do it by hand. It's already moving there. If you're having a bit of trouble, take a hammer and just find a lip over here, and you've got a bit of
bit of a leverage bar over there, and just kind of tuck it underneath, and you lift it up, right? So there you go, it's moving already. It can be quite difficult. If you have a rubber mallet, it's actually better. You can knock it from underneath here. You can just give it a couple of taps, loosen it, and you can do the same. Just over here as well, you got a bit of a lip, and you can just tap it with the rubber mallet and it'll come loose. So you got four nuts, and then you got washers as well. I'll just show you them. So these are the nuts. Very easy to come off. They're not really torqued down too tight. And you got the washers over there, which essentially they stop the oil leaking. So just be careful you don't damage them, and just keep them safe. The next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take this engine bracket off. Now, first thing you want to do is actually want to get a hydraulic jack stand underneath and just support the sump of the engine over there. So just make sure you got that underneath, otherwise you could really do a lot of damage. So essentially when you kind of just like lift it up and you see the support, you might notice over here it might like lift up a little bit because it does have a little bit of play. So you see, I don't know if you can see, but there you go, it's moved, and there you go, you got support on it. We just double check it's good. Cool, I'm quite happy with that. Cool, just make sure that's turned to the right, so it's tight. Cool. So once that's done, I've already loosened them. I've just put them back on quite easily. So I believe this is a 12 mil, and then you got 1, 2, 3 over there. So 1, 2, 3, and you've actually got 2 underneath here as well. So let's try and see if you can spot them both. So you got 1 and 2 there, and they're 14 mil as well. So all the rest are 14 mil, besides for that one there. So once you got the support underneath, you can remove those. That's fine. And you might have to, if you do have a Corolla with an air conditioning unit, you might have to just loosen this bolt over here just to kind of have a bit of play, just to get underneath and out that way. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to come down here now. I've already removed this harmonic balancer over here. The way I actually took the bolt off was you can either do it with the rattle gun. Another way to do it is if you've got the bolt. Right, so you've got the bolt inside over there, and then you can get a wrench on it, right? And if the engine is going to turn clockwise like that, this harmonic balancer is going to be turning clockwise as well. This bolt, to loosen, it needs to turn anti-clockwise. So if you get one of these, so let's pretend the bolt is still on, and you'll kind of get one of these. All right, that's on the bolt right now. You've got your arm. Got your arm over there. If you can rest that up against something metal, so obviously you can't use the wheel arches over here, but for example, you got something like that, hollow on top. you can slide that right in, right? And it actually creates a leverage over there. So if this thing is turning that way, it's going to want to push this into the ground. Now, it can't actually continue its rotation. So as that turns, this bolt is going to loosen to the left. Now, the way you utilize that is got to do a couple of things. First things first, you want to take the plugs out. You don't want to actually create any spark over here. Next thing is you want to reconnect the battery. So you reconnect the battery, then you set it up. Make sure it's rotating the correct way, otherwise you can over tighten it, and you really don't want to do that. And then once you have this all set up and you've triple checked which way that's going to turn, I would recommend definitely to just, you know, get someone to have a look, and you do it and just see which way it turns, and then set up whatever you want to set up, just to triple check, just to make sure. But once you have this all set up, it's got the pressure over there and it won't be able to keep turning right. You can actually hop in, batteries connected, make sure the plugs are disconnected so there's no spark, so it won't start. And you just want to turn the key onto the start position, and just tap the ignition on. You know, just tap the starter on. Actually, you tap the starter on, and it'll come loose very easily. Just do it a couple of turns, it'll loosen it, and then you can loosen the rest. Now the next thing you got to do is you're gonna have to actually take this harmonic balancer off, so this crankshaft pulley off. Now you're gonna need some sort of specific tool for that. I got well, this kit over here, $30. I'll take this whole thing off. So next thing you're gonna do, before you take it off, you won't be able to take it off by hand or anything. So it's gonna be like that on that knuckle over there, and you've got this little machine here, and essentially the idea is that you screw two of these, right? So 1, 2. You screw it. And there's two holes, one there and one on that side. And you screw it on, and then this thing is not connected to the actual pulley, but connected to the body of the engine. And then you just tighten that, and it pulls this out. Pretty straightforward, but without the right tools, it's an impossible task. All right, as far as I can see, you got this off. You got that top piece off. It's essentially just a plastic cover. Kind of looks like that up here, and you got 3 bolts holding it in. So you got one there, one down there, 4 bolts. Sorry, one over there, and then one down there as well. Don't know if you can see that. Comes straight off. Next one is, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I believe there's another one just over there as well. You really gotta play around with that middle cover. I managed to take it off, but you definitely do need to kind of bend it back here. You will feel like you're breaking it. Just wiggle it up and down until it comes off. The bottom one comes out pretty easily. You do have to bend a little bit on the left side over there, but this middle one is actually a bit of a challenge, specifically when you've got a Corolla with air conditioning. You got this whole bit here and stuff. Yeah, cool. So now that we we got all the covers off and everything like that. The next job is actually to get this timing belt tensioner out of there, and then take the timing belt off. Now before we do that, we got to do a number of things. First thing, you want to take out the number 1 cylinder spark plug, which is just that one over there. Now once you take that out, you can actually take all of them out. It'll just be easier to be turning the engine, rotating the engine to top dead center. So what we want to do is actually with the number 1 cylinder, if you take the spark plug out, and then you can actually like put a screwdriver right down there, and you can just watch it while you're rotating the engine. It'll come up, and you'll see when it is top dead center. And you want to make sure that it correlates correctly with the rotation of the cam pulley over here. What you want to do is, you've got a little hole over there, and you want to line it up with there's a little marker just over there, right center of the screen. So just that little mark over there, and you want to essentially line them up. Once you've lined them up, the way you actually do line it up, you know, to rotate the engine and stuff like that, what I use is shifting spanner, right? And you've got 2 spots over here. You've got to grip on over there and over there. Use one on the right, and you can actually turn the engine like that. If you take all the spark plugs out, the rotation can be a lot easier because there's no compression. If you just take the one out, it might be a little bit harder. Once you've done that, you want to also just come down here and make sure that this little tab is kind of pointing upwards. So that is pretty good. Okay, so once you're happy, next thing you want to do is you just want to mark it. So we'll just, let's see, we'll just mark this tooth over here. And let's go 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And let's just, I'll go like that over there, and we'll just go that as well. Just if you make a mistake, you can always kind of figure out how to line it up. Now, you also want to do the same thing underneath. Just over here, you want to kind of take this spacer out, and let's just go that one there. And let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got our spacers, and now we can take the tension off. So next thing is going to be removing tie belt tensioner over there. So it's a 10 mil. I've already loosened it, so it should come off pretty easy. There you go.
Right. Cool, so that's the bolts come out. Now the next thing is gonna be a spring. It's gonna, so you see that spring down there? You're gonna have to remove that and it should come pretty loose.
Taking the belt off, got my markings over here, everything like that. What I did is I took my new belt and I just lined it up and I just made 2 markings up here. So you got 1 and then you got your spacers. So 1, 2, 3, 4 blank, and then another one for the top. And then what I did was I just counted all the teeth down here to the bottom. It was about 48 teeth. I just made sure it was 48, and I just counted 48 teeth over here, and I made my mark. And then the bottom one, I did 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, and then I marked it. And up here I did 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I marked it. So I know which is top and bottom. So that's my top on the new one, and that's bottom on the new one. 4 and 3.
Once you got the new belt on, you line up the teeth as I did. Make sure these ones down here also line up. So that one over there got a bit smushed, but this one's quite clear, so I know that it's there. And then 1, 2, 3, and then the other one over there. So it's good. Then you got tensioner up here. Now you want to kind of put it on without the spring, essentially fit the belt around it, and then if you can see that spring in there, you're gonna have to get some pliers, and there's like a little notch, and you want to just use pliers and just grab it across and hook it onto that notch there. And next thing, we want to rotate the engine, so just keep this loose, and we just want to rotate the engine 2 times, and we'll see if everything's lined up as it should be.
Rotated the engine clockwise, right? So that way, it's all lined up, it's all good. You just got to double check that, you know,
That hole over there and that notch, so the hole and the notch are lined up, and at the same time you got a top dead center in your number 1 cylinder over there. So you got a spark plug out, so you can just stick a long screwdriver or something and just watch it come up. Just make sure that it's at the top when it reaches the top over there, that little notch and hole lined up. Okay, next is to put the actual cover on again. So the first one you have to do is actually the center one over here. Pain in the ass, I'll tell you, especially with the air conditioning unit. Extreme pain in the ass to get in. Make sure that, not sure if you can see, but there's a little bit of a lip on the plastic covering over there. You want to make sure that that lip is on the outside of that shelf over here. You don't want it to be inside. You can go ahead and put this bottom cover on before screwing anything on, because this bottom cover slips underneath this middle one here. Okay, so put it underneath, and then you can start bolting. This one over there, one over there, one over there, one over there. Then you can come up here and do that one there. And then let's get that last cover on. Okay, so this is the top cover, and I'd imagine we'll go something like this. Once that's in place, go ahead and screw those on. So once that cover's back on, doing all your screws and everything, I went ahead and put the rocker cover back on too. So same deal, just
put that in. Don't forget your oil washer. They actually screw on, so just like put them all in. Obviously inspect your gasket as well if you need to change that. Make sure you do. Connect these vacuum lines over here, clip them on. Next thing to do is to get this harmonic balancer back on. Now you can't use the same trick that we did when we took it off by clicking the starter motor. We can't do that because well, it's going to be going the wrong way. So I've improvised. What I've done is I've taken 2 spanners like this. I've got 2 screws that I took from my kit over here, and I tightened them down into the 2 holes over there. And then what I did is I brought these over here, right? And I got myself a vice grip. Get these 2, and then you can grip that on. Just clamp it down. So you got this setup over here. Once you tighten those all the way down, when you're going to be rotating this bolt here, it's going to be turning that way, and this pressure is going to go straight up on the body over here. So it actually works pretty well. There you go. And you have to torque it down to 100 Newton meters. Just once you got that there, just make sure it's up against the body of the car over here, and then go ahead with your torque wrench. Just torque it to 100 Newton meters. I've just put all the belts back on. Started off with the power steering belts over here. Remember, it's just this bolt. That's the adjusting, you know, for tension and nut, whatever. And then that one underneath that needs to get adjusted or tightened at least, which would have been loosened, and that's that one there. So you adjust it, you tighten this one, you're done. Next thing you want to do is you want to do the AC belt over here. So you've got yourself a tensioner pulley. You assemble that one, and you put the belt on around here, that first rivet there, and around the tensioner pulley, and then around the AC compressor. And then once it's on, you tighten it to the correct tension. The last belt is the alternator belt, and that's connected to the water pump over here, and it's also connected to the crankshaft pulley over there. So it's that outer one, and the outer one over here too, and then it comes across over here, and the tensioning nut is just underneath that one there. And then once you're done, when you got the right tension that you like, you just do up a bolt underneath here. Just that one there that you can see. Just do that up. Yeah, here we have it. Done deal.